was clearing out the camera roll on my cellular phone, deleting thousands of duplicates while sitting here alone. I scrolled past the screenshots, the coffees, the pictures of the rain, and I stumbled on a video that completely hijacked my brain. It was a 5-second clip from a birthday 2 years in the past. You were looking at the lens, and the moment moved so fast. But right before the video ended, the corners of your mouth turned up, a genuine, unguarded reaction as you raised your plastic cup. I hit pause on the screen and stared at the frozen glowing light, at the geometry of your happiness burning in the night. It wasn't a posed photograph, it wasn't a practiced fake routine. It was the truest version of you that I had ever seen. And seeing it now from the other side of this terrible divide brought a sudden, overwhelming rushing of the tide. It was the ghost of a smile haunting the digital space, a phantom of absolute joy across your beautiful, distant face. It didn't make me angry, it didn't tear my heart in two. It just made me incredibly, fundamentally sad for me and you. We used to create that expression, we used to manufacture the light before we got tangled in the darkness and forgot how to fight. I am staring at a relic of a boy who hasn't existed in a while, captured perfectly in the tragic ghost of a smile. My thumb hovered over the trash can icon on the bottom of the screen, ready to permanently erase the painful, pixelated scene. But my muscle memory betrayed me, and I couldn't press delete. I couldn't wipe out the evidence that our love was ever sweet, because if I delete the joy, then the pain was all for naught. A meaningless battlefield where an empty war was fought. So I put it in a hidden folder buried deep within the drive, a secret little graveyard where I keep the past alive. I turn the screen off and watch my own reflection in the black, a tired, hollowed woman who was never looking back. It wasn't a posed photograph, it wasn't a practiced fake routine. It was the truest version of you that I had ever seen. And seeing it now from the other side of this terrible divide brought a sudden, overwhelming rushing of the tide. It was the ghost of a smile haunting the digital space, a phantom of absolute joy across your beautiful, distant face. It didn't make me angry, it didn't tear my heart in two. It just made me incredibly, fundamentally sad for me and you. We used to create that expression, we used to manufacture the light before we got tangled in the darkness and forgot how to fight. I am staring at a relic of a boy who hasn't existed in a while, captured perfectly in the tragic ghost of a smile. I guess this is what closure actually looks like in the end. Not a dramatic revelation, not a broken heart that mends, just the quiet acceptance that you were happy with me once, before we became these silent, separated fronts. I can look at your joy and not feel consumed by the spite. I can finally turn off the lamp and go to sleep tonight. of a smile haunting the digital space, a phantom of absolute joy across your beautiful distant face. It didn't make me angry, it didn't tear my heart in two, it just made me incredibly, fundamentally glad I knew you. Just the ghost of a smile, unlocking the screen. I hope you're happy now. Goodbye. Goodbye. There's a solitary oak tree standing right outside my door. It dropped its final brown leaf upon the concrete floor. I watched it detach from the branch and spin into the air, a graceful silent surrender, a letting go without a care. The frost crept over the grass at exactly 5 a.m., turning the vibrant green blades into frozen, brittle stems. The season is officially shifting. The warmth has left the ground, and the quiet decay of November is the only thing around. I am sitting on the porch with a blanket wrapped around my knees, listening to the hollow whistling of the northern breeze. The air smells like wood smoke and the inevitable end, a transition that no amount of bargaining could ever mend. The earth is going to sleep, preparing for the ice and snow, and it's telling me it's finally time to let your memory go. This is autumn's last sigh, exhaling the final breath, a beautiful amber-colored pantomime of death. The harvest is completely over, the fields are stripped and bare. There's nothing left to cultivate, there's nothing left to care. We held on through the summer, ignoring the changing of the light, but you can't stop the rotation, you can't outrun the night. I am watching the last bit of color drain right out of the sky, and I am letting you go on autumn's last sigh. I found your wool scarf shoved in the back of the hallway bin. It still smells faintly of cedar wood and the places you had been. I held it to my face for a second, a moment of weakness and grace, trying to inhale the ghost of the boy who used to share this space. But the scent is fading rapidly, it's weaker than it was before, just like the pain in my chest when I look at the front door. The acute stabbing agony is turned into a dull, familiar ache, a chronic condition that I have simply learned to take. I took the scarf and I threw it into the charity donation bag, lowering the colors on our ruined, defeated flag. The air smells like wood smoke and the inevitable end, a transition that no amount of bargaining could ever mend. The earth is going to sleep, preparing for the ice and snow, and it's telling me it's finally time to let your memory go. This is autumn's last sigh, exhaling the final breath, a beautiful amber-colored pantomime of summer, ignoring the changing of the light. But you can't stop the rotation, you can't outrun the night. I am watching the last bit of color drain right out of the sky, and I am letting you go on autumn's last sigh. The days are getting shorter, the shadows are getting long. I am tired of writing you into every single melancholy song. The winter will be cold, but it will freeze the infected wound. And under the layer of snow, a quiet peace will be marooned. I welcome the barren landscape, the brutal, honest chill. It's time to accept the emptiness and let the house be still. And this is autumn's last sigh, exhaling the final breath. A beautiful amber color pantomime of death. The harvest is completely over, the fields are stripped and bare. There's nothing left to cultivate, there's nothing left to care. The leaves are all gone, the branches are bare. I'm letting it go, autumn's last sigh. The street lamp is casting orange lines through the bedroom blind, a barcode of the insomnia that is trapped inside my mind. It's 3:15 in the morning, the darkest part of the clock, when the rational thoughts surrender and the anxieties knock. I have tangled my headphones around my neck in a knot, listening to a white noise playlist, giving it all I've got. Rain sounds, ocean waves, the hum of an airplane engine drone. Anything to drown out the fact that I am sleeping all alone. You used to run your fingers gently up and down my spine, a tactile sedative that convinced me everything was fine. Now the mattress feels like an ocean, vast and terrifyingly wide, and I am a tiny sailboat caught in a brutal outgoing tide. I pull the heavy duvet up over my freezing ears, trying to create a bunker to protect me from my fears. So I'm singing myself a midnight lullaby in the dark, a pathetic little melody to ignite a tiny spark. Rocking my own shoulders in the middle of the bed, trying to quiet down the circus performing in my head. Hush now, quiet now, the morning is eventually gonna break. You just have to survive the agonizing hours you're awake. I am the mother and the child in this solitary room, singing a midnight lullaby to keep away the gloom. I try counting backwards from 1,000 by sevens in my brain, a desperate arithmetic distraction from the emotional pain. 993.86, I completely lose my place, because the back of my eyelids just keeps projecting your face. I reach over to the empty side light and rest my palm on the sheet. It's cold, unwrinkled cotton where our bodies used to meet. I remember the steady rhythm of your chest as you would sleep, a metronome of safety that I was desperate to keep. But you packed up your rhythm and took it to another town, leaving me with the terrible silence to drag me underwater and down. Now the mattress feels like an ocean, vast and terrifyingly wide, and I am a tiny sailboat caught in a brutal outgoing tide. I pull the heavy duvet up over my freezing ears, trying to create a bunker to protect me from my fears. So I'm singing myself a midnight lullaby in the dark, a pathetic little melody to ignite a tiny spark. Rocking my own shoulders in the middle of the bed, trying to quiet down the circus performing in my head. Hush now, quiet now, the morning is eventually gonna break. You just have to survive the agonizing hours you're awake. I am the mother and the child in this solitary room, singing a midnight lullaby to keep away the gloom. They say that exhaustion eventually conquers the grief, that the body will shut down and offer a temporary relief. So I will lie here and hum a tune until my vocal cords ache, until the darkness surrenders and my heavy eyelids break. I will parent my own broken heart until the sun begins to rise and paints a different color across the ceiling and my eyes. So I'm singing myself a midnight lullaby in the dark, a pathetic little melody to ignite a tiny spark. Rocking my own shoulders in the middle of the bed, trying to quiet down the circus performing in my head. Hush now, close your eyes, the night is almost over. Just sleep, go to sleep. I'm washing the fine china that my grandmother gave to me, standing at the kitchen sink, as careful as can be. The porcelain is translucent, you can see the shadow of my hand, a delicate piece of earth dug up from a foreign land. I handle it with a reverence that borders on outright fear, knowing it could shatter if I drop it just an inch from here. It takes so little impact to turn a teacup into dust, a tiny lapse in judgment, a tiny break in trust. I dry it with a cotton cloth and place it on the shelf, and suddenly I realize I am looking at myself. The world is filled with objects that are desperately thin, waiting for a clumsy hand to let the breaking in. I am navigating the hallway with a quiet, careful tread, balancing a precarious stack of memories on my head. Oh, we are surrounded by such fragile things, like spun sugar castles and hollow bird wings, like a promise whispered quietly in the dark of soap bubble trembling in the morning light. I'm terrified to move, I'm terrified to even speak, because my structural integrity is tragically weak. Since you walked away and cut my anchor to the ground, I am the most fragile thing that can be found. I tried to go to a party at a friend's house late last week, but the music was too heavy and the outlook felt too bleak. Someone bumped my shoulder and I practically came undone, a microscopic fracture blocking out the setting sun. I had to lock myself in the bathroom just to catch my breath, staring at the tile grout, contemplating tiny deaths. The social interaction felt like walking on thin ice, a gamble where I couldn't afford to pay the asking price. So I slipped out the back door without saying my goodbyes, protecting the delicate glass behind my tired eyes. The world is filled with objects that are desperately thin, waiting for a clumsy hand to let the breaking in. I am navigating the hallway with a quiet, careful tread, balancing a precarious stack of memories on my head. Oh, we are surrounded by such fragile things, like spun sugar castles and hollow bird wings, like a promise whispered quietly in the dark of the night, like a soap bubble trembling in the morning light. I'm terrified to move, I'm terrified to even speak, because my structural integrity is tragically weak. Since you walked away and cut my anchor to the ground, I am the most fragile thing that can be found. You used to treat my heart like it was carved from solid stone. You dropped it on the floorboards when I was sitting all alone. You thought it would just bounce, you thought it wouldn't crack, but some things will shatter permanently and you can't glue them back. Now I'm sweeping up the shards of who I used to be, a mosaic of a person staring right back at me. Oh, we are surrounded by such fragile things, like spun sugar castles and hollow bird wings, like a promise whispered quietly in the dark of the night, like a soap bubble trembling in the morning light. So be careful with me, I might break, just porcelain and dust, fragile things. The radiator is hissing, metallic in the pale blue light of a freezing winter moon. I'm wearing that oversized sweater you bought me at the thrift, watching the first snow of the season begin to slowly drift. It coats the fire escape in a layer of pristine white, softening the harsh edges of the noisy city night. I trace a circle on the frosted glass with my fingertip and bite down hard on the trembling of my lower lip. The cold is creeping in through the crack beneath the sill, a physical reminder of the space you used to fill. There's a specific kind of quiet that comes with the snow, a heavy muffled silence that only the winter can know. It freezes the world in a beautiful temporary death, and I am standing in the middle, holding my breath. You are December's ghost, walking through the walls, echoing down the linoleum of these empty apartment halls. I see a silhouette in the fog rolling off the street. I feel the phantom temperature of your missing heat. Winter always brings you back, a seasonal cruel return, a freezing kind of fire that still knows how to burn. I pull the collar up around my neck to block the chill, but December's ghost is sitting on my windowsill. I walked down to the corner store just to buy some tea, and the bells on the glass door jingled, mocking me. The clerk was watching a muted movie on a tiny screen. I paid in crumpled dollar bills, feeling entirely unseen. On the walk back, I saw a couple laughing in the park. Their breath is mingling together in the freezing dark. They were sharing a single pair of knitted wool gloves, a reckless, arrogant display of new and fragile loves. I looked away and shoved my freezing hands deep in my coat, trying to swallow the icy lump that formed inside my throat. There's a specific kind of quiet that comes with the snow, a heavy muffled silence that only the winter can know. It freezes the world in a beautiful temporary death, and I am standing in the middle, holding my breath. You are December's ghost, walking through the walls, echoing down the linoleum of these empty apartment halls. I see your silhouette in the fog rolling off the street. I feel the phantom temperature of your missing heat. Winter always brings you back, a seasonal cruel return, a freezing kind of fire that still knows how to burn. I pull the collar up around my neck to block the chill, but December's ghost is sitting on my windowsill. The thermometer drops another degree as midnight strikes, freezing the puddles and the chains of the abandoned bikes. I am locked inside this terrarium of ice and memory, waiting for the spring to come and finally set me free. But the forecast says it's gonna snow for 3 more days, so I'll just have to navigate this white and blinding maze. December's ghost, walking through the walls, echoing down the linoleum of these empty apartment halls. I see a silhouette in the fog rolling off the street. I feel the phantom temperature of your missing heat. Radiator hisses, I pull the sweater tight. December's ghost, good night. furniture in the living room today. Push the sofa to the window to catch the afternoon ray. I bought a new rug with geometric shapes in navy blue, trying to camouflage the layout that was designed around you. But the television is angled towards a chair that isn't there, and the bookshelf has a massive gap on the second shelf, right where you used to keep your vintage paperbacks and your camera gear. An architectural reminder that you disappeared this year. I can paint the walls a different color, I can buy a new lock, but I can't erase the phantom silhouette from this domestic block. Your absence has a physical shape, a density I can feel. It takes up residence in the kitchen during every lonely meal. It sits beside me in the passenger seat when I drive to the store. A heavy, invisible passenger that I simply can't ignore. I am navigating the space you left behind, stepping over the ghost, trying to be a gracious, accommodating host to the memory of a love that packed its bags and moved away, leaving a hollow indentation in the middle of my day. The bathroom sink is too much room, the closet is half bare. I am surrounded by the terrible volume of the missing air. It's an outline of a person drawn in negative empty space. The space you left behind is the most crowded place. I sleep on the exact left hemisphere of the mattress every night, balancing on the edge of the chasm, holding on tight. The sheets on the right side are perfectly smooth and undisturbed, a pristine plateau of cotton that makes me feel slightly absurd. I still make 2 cups of coffee when I wake up in a daze. Muscle memory is a cruel comedian playing a twisted phase. I pour one down the drain and watch the brown liquid swirl. Just a deeply habitual heartbroken girl. I am paying rent for square footage that I don't even use, a museum of a partnership that I managed to lose. Your absence has a physical shape, a density I can feel. It takes up residence in the kitchen during every lonely meal. It sits beside me in the passenger seat when I drive to the store. A heavy, invisible passenger that I simply can't ignore. I am navigating the space you left behind, stepping over the ghost, trying to be a gracious, accommodating host to the memory of a love that packed its bags and moved away, leaving a hollow indentation in the middle of my day. The bathroom sink is too much room, the closet is half bare. I am surrounded by the terrible volume of the missing air. It's an outline of a person drawn in negative empty space. The space you left behind is the most crowded place. They say nature abhors a vacuum that the void will always fill, but the air in this apartment is stubbornly, permanently still. I don't want to bring new objects to occupy your sacred spot. I am fiercely protecting the emptiness of the things I haven't got. The void is the only connection I have left to you now, so I maintain the empty spaces, a bizarre silent vow. bumped the edge of the table when I stood up from my chair, and I watched the crystal water glass launch into the air. It hung there for a moment, defying the gravity of the room, a fragile, glittering satellite anticipating its doom. I reached my hand out to catch it, but my fingers were made of lead. My brain was sending signals that my body completely misread. I could see the beads of condensation separating from the glass, a beautiful, tragic physics experiment coming to pass. In that suspended fraction of a second, I suddenly understood the exact mechanics of how you left me in the neighborhood. The arc of the descent was perfectly mathematically clear, a collision course with the hardwood that I couldn't engineer. I was a passive observer in my own kitchen tragedy, a helpless witness to the breaking of our fragile gravity. We were falling in slow motion, tumbling through the void, a delicate ecosystem absolutely and totally destroyed. I saw the impact coming from a million miles away, but I couldn't move my mouth to find the proper words to say. You slipped right through my fingers like water through a sieve, taking with you the oxygen that I required to live. Suspended in the atmosphere between the ceiling and the floor, falling in slow motion right out the front door. When you said we needed space, the air pressure dropped in the room, a sudden barometric shift that signaled the impending gloom. I watched your lips forming the vowels, pulling the syllables apart, a slow, meticulous dismantling of my beating heart. I wanted to scream, I wanted to throw my arms around your neck, to steer the sinking ship away from the inevitable wreck, but I was paralyzed by the velocity of the changing tide, trapped in the cinematic framing of my own foolish pride. I just nodded my head slowly, mimicking a calm I didn't feel, while the entire foundation of my world began to peel. The arc of the descent was perfectly mathematically clear, a collision course with the hardwood that I couldn't engineer. I was a passive observer in my own kitchen tragedy, a helpless witness to the breaking of our fragile gravity. We were falling in slow motion, tumbling through the void, a delicate ecosystem absolutely and totally destroyed. I saw the impact coming from a million miles away, but I couldn't move my mouth to find the proper words to say. You slipped right through my fingers like water through a sieve, taking with you the oxygen that I required to live. Suspended in the atmosphere between the ceiling and the floor, falling in slow motion right out the front door. The glass finally hit the wood and shattered into 1,000 stars, a violent, noisy conclusion to this quiet war of ours. The spell was broken, the timeline violently snapped back into place, leaving me to clean up the terrible mess in this empty space. But the memory of the fall is infinitely worse than the crash, the agonizing anticipation before it turns to ash. System absolutely and totally destroyed. I motion. Crash. The second hand on the kitchen wall is stuck on the number 3. It's twitching back and forth, mocking the anxiety in me. I've been staring at the microwave since you walked out the door. I scrubbed the counter twice and then I vacuumed the entire floor. Trying to manufacture motion in a house that's standing still. Trying to find a mindless task for my empty hands to kill. But the silence is a physical weight pressing on my chest, a punishing exam for which I never did request. I check my phone on the table, the screen is black and dead. I am trapped inside the terrible theater of my head. The sun is crawling across the rug at a microscopic pace, a cruel manipulation of the fabric of time and space. I swear it's been a century since you packed your duffel bag. But the digital clock beside the bed is waving a stagnant flag. I am living hours like days, minutes like endless years, drowning in a thimble full of disproportionate tears. The rotation of the earth has ground to an absolute halt, and I am sitting in the wreckage, wondering if it's my fault. When you are waiting for a message that is never gonna come, the universe expands and makes you beautifully numb. I am a prisoner of the afternoon, trapped in a chronic phase, where a single Tuesday afternoon feels like 1,000 days. I try to read a paperback, but the words fall off the page. I am vibrating with the silent, purely domestic rage. How can you be out there, breathing the oxygen and free, while I am paralyzed and amber in the place we used to be? I pour a glass of tap water and watch the bubbles rise, a fascinating spectacle for my desperate bored eyes. I am dissecting every syllable of our very last fight, analyzing the shadows as the afternoon turns into night. If I could just fast forward, if I could just skip the pain, I wouldn't have to listen to the dripping of the rain. The sun is crawling across the rug at a microscopic pace, a cruel manipulation of the fabric of time and space. I swear it's been a century since you packed your duffel bag, but the digital clock beside the bed is waving a stagnant flag. I am living hours like days, minutes like endless years, drowning in a thimble full of disproportionate tears. The rotation of the earth has ground to an absolute halt, and I am sitting in the wreckage, wondering if it's my fault. When you are waiting for a message that is never gonna come, the universe expands and makes you beautifully numb. I am a prisoner of the afternoon, trapped in a chronic phase, where a single Tuesday afternoon feels like 1,000 days. They say time heals all wounds, but time is entirely the enemy here. It stretches out the suffering, it amplifies the fear. I am stuck in the slow motion aftermath of a bomb, trying to find a peace of mind, trying to find the calm. But the clock is a metronome of everything I lack, ticking away the seconds that I am never getting back. I'm living hours like days, minutes like endless is moving, nothing at all. It didn't happen in a screaming match out in the pouring rain. There were no shattered plates, no slamming doors, no cinematic pain. It was a Tuesday evening, we were eating takeout on the floor, and I realized that I didn't wanna hold your hand anymore. You were talking about your office, some coworker you despise, and I was staring at the blank expression in your tired eyes. The television in the background was playing a rerun show, and the terrible realization hit me heavy, quiet and slow. We had run out of material, we had run out of the spark. We were just two strangers sitting together in the dark. There was no sudden explosion, no dramatic fiery crash, just the silent accumulation of a million flakes of ash. Like a favorite cotton t-shirt washed 100,000 times, losing all its vibrancy, committing invisible crimes. It was a slow fade to gray, a gentle draining of the light. We didn't even notice we were giving up the fight. The reds and blues bled out into a muddy neutral tone, until we were sitting side by side, completely and utterly alone. We didn't break entirely, we just slowly came undone, like staring directly into a dying winter sun. No villain and no victim in the story we relay, just the tragic, quiet, mundane of a slow fade to gray. I stopped asking how your day was, you stopped kissing my cheek. We could go from Friday morning to the middle of the week without exchanging a single word that carried any weight, just navigating around each other, a domestic silent trade. We became polite roommates, sharing a lease and a bed, careful not to step on the landmines of the things we left unsaid. I watched the plant in the corner slowly wither on the vine, because neither of us watered it, thinking everything was fine. The plant is the perfect symbol of the love we didn't feed, just a dry, brittle husk from a tiny, neglected seed. There was no sudden explosion, no dramatic fiery crash, just the silent accumulation of a million flakes of ash. Like a favorite cotton t-shirt washed 100,000 times, losing all its vibrancy, committing invisible crimes. It was a slow fade to gray, a gentle draining of the light. We didn't even notice we were giving up the fight. The reds and blues bled out into a muddy neutral tone, until we were sitting side by side, completely and utterly alone. We didn't break entirely, we just slowly came undone, like staring directly into a dying winter sun. No villain and no victim in the story we relay, just the tragic, quiet, mundane of a slow fade to gray. Sometimes I wish you had cheated, or I had broken your trust. trust, just to have a tangible reason for this city turning to dust. I wish we had a villain to point a furious finger at, instead of this apathy, instead of this terrible flap. But the hardest thing to mourn is a death that has no cause, just the steady, relentless creeping of time's natural laws. It was a slow fade to gray, a gentle draining of the light. We didn't even notice we were giving up the fight. The reds and blues bled out into a muddy neutral tone, until we were sitting side by side, completely and utterly alone. Just a fade to gray, all the colors washed out. We just came undone so quietly. I was digging through the shoebox underneath my bed today, looking for a tax receipt that I had filed away. Instead I found a square of plastic bordered in pristine white, with a memory trapped inside it from a late September night. We were sitting on the hood of your beat-up Chevrolet. The flash was blinding bright, chasing all the dark away. I remember how the chemicals smelled sweet and strangely toxic, as we shook it in the air, acting young and so chaotic. But time is a cruel archivist, it doesn't preserve the truth. It eats away the contrast and the arrogance of youth. I hold it to the window light, trying to make out your face, but the sun has bleached the edges of this tiny sacred space. The yellow ink is bleeding and the shadows have turned to blue. I am holding a physical metaphor of what happened to me and you. Oh, it's just a faded Polaroid, a ghost inside a frame. I can barely recognize myself, I can barely read your name. The Sharpie on the bottom says forever 21, but forever had an expiration date. Beneath the summer sun, the chemicals are breaking down, the image is letting go. A slow photographic death that only the heartbroken know. I try to trace your jawline, but my finger finds a blur, a faded Polaroid of the people that we were. I remember when you took it, you said, "Don't blink, look at me." You wanted to capture something that the naked eye couldn't see. We thought we were immortal, sealed behind that glossy gloss. We didn't know the first thing about the physics of the loss. Now your jacket is a muddy brown, my smile is barely there, and the background is a washed out wash of static in the air. It's like looking at a dream I had a million years ago, where the dialogue is missing and the tape is playing slow. I should probably throw it out, let it go into the trash, but I am strangely attached to this tiny square of ash. I hold it to the window light, trying to make out your face, but the sun has bleached the edges of this tiny sacred space. The yellow ink is bleeding and the shadows have turned to blue. I am holding a physical metaphor of what happened to me and you. Oh, it's just a faded Polaroid, a ghost inside a frame. I can barely recognize myself, I can barely read your name. The Sharpie on the bottom says forever 21, but forever had an expiration date beneath the summer sun. The chemicals are breaking down, the image is letting go. A slow photographic death that only the heartbroken know. I try to trace your jawline, but my finger finds a blur, a faded Polaroid of the people that we were. I wanna dip it in the magic bath and bring the colors back, to sharpen up the focus, to restore the pitch black. But the chemistry is final, the exposure is complete. There is no darker magic for this kind of defeat. You are fading from my memory, just like you fade on the page. A victim of the ultraviolet, a casualty of age. Inside a frame, I can barely recognize myself, I can barely read your name. The Sharpie on the bottom says forever 21, but forever had an expiration date beneath the summer sun. The image is letting go. I'm letting you go. Just a blur, just a faded square. I ripped a page out of the notebook that I kept by my bed, the one with the blue leather cover where I wrote what I never said. It's filled with your name in the margins and crossouts of apologies, a chaotic archive of all my embarrassing, desperate pleas. I took the paper in my hands and folded the corners down tight, creating a fragile vessel by the glow of the bathroom light. A sharp crease for the anger, a gentle fold for the regret, smoothing out the edges of a love I am trying to forget. It looks so small in my palms, just an origami plea, a tiny unseaworthy ship meant to navigate a furious sea. It's been raining for 3 days straight, washing the city streets clean, flooding the gutters and painting the pavement an oily green. I walked out to the curb with no shoes and a coat on my back, ready to launch my little tragedy down the concrete track. Sailing paper boats down the drain in the pouring rain, watching the blue ink bleed out all of my chronic pain. It bobs and it weaves through the debris of the neighborhood, a vulnerable traveler made of pulped temporary wood. Will it make it to the ocean, or will it sink in the grate? A victim of the current, a victim of heavy water and fate. I watching my paper boats commit a beautiful silent crime. I stood on the sidewalk and watched it turn the corner and fade, a miniature funeral procession for the terrible mess that we made. The water was rushing so fast, it didn't even put up a fight. It just surrendered itself to the swirling, rushing night. I went back inside and ripped out the very next page in the book, where I wrote about the way that my hands violently shook when you packed up your boxes and left the keys on the stand. I folded that one into a boat with a steady, determined hand. I need to empty this notebook before the storm finally clears. I am building a microscopic navy out of all of my tears. It's been raining for 3 days straight, washing the city streets clean, flooding the gutters and painting the pavement an oily green. I walked out to the curb with no shoes and a coat on my back, ready to launch my little tragedy down the concrete track, sailing paper boats down the drain in the pouring rain, watching the blue ink bleed out all of my chronic pain. It bobs and it weaves through the debris of the neighborhood, a vulnerable traveler made of pulp's temporary wood. Will it make it to the ocean, or will it sink in the grate? A victim of the current, a victim of heavy water and fate. I am letting you go, one folded page at a time, watching my paper boats commit the beautiful silent crime. Some people burn their letters in a cinematic blaze of fire, but that feels too aggressive, too fueled by a dark desire. I prefer the slow dissolution, the water breaking it down, the ink washing away, blurring the nouns and the towns, returning the parts to the earth, letting them soften and drown, till there is nothing left but a memory floating around. A vulnerable traveler made of pulp, temporary wood, letting you go one page at a time. The ink is bleeding, the paper is sinking. Goodbye. This cabin was built in the 70s by a man with 2 hands, standing stubborn and lonely on a piece of forgotten land. The walls are all pine, unfinished, and soaking up the cold. Every timber has a story that is desperately waiting to be told. I came up here for the weekend, just to clear out my messy mind, to leave the noise of the city and the ghost of you behind. But I quickly realized that isolation is a dangerous game when there's no one around. The silence starts screaming your name. I dropped a coffee spoon on the floor and it rang like a bell, a bright silver chime in this beautiful wouldn't help. The architecture is practically begging for a voice to fill up the corners, to make an impossible choice. Every creak of the floorboards, every draft in the hall is amplifying the fact that you're not here at all. I am trapped with the echoes in the wood, bouncing off the pine, refracting the memories, blurring the chronological line. I say your name to the rafters, just to hear how it sounds, but the hollow acoustic just throws it aggressively down. It reverberates into my chest, a physical heavy ache, a resonance created by the promises we used to break. The wood remembers everything, it absorbs every tear and sigh. Echoes in the wood, making sure that the past doesn't die. I found an old acoustic guitar leaning up by the grate, missing the high E string, a victim of time and of fate. I struck a G chord and the entire cabin began to hum, a sympathetic vibration rising up from a place dark and numb. I realized the walls are just the inside of a giant guitar, and I am the broken string sitting completely apart. When we argued in the kitchen, the vibration seeped into the grain. When you laughed in the doorway, the wood drank up the rain. Now the cabin is playing it back to me, a cruel mixtape, a sonic museum from which I simply cannot escape. The architecture is practically begging for a voice to fill up the corners, to make an impossible choice. Every creak of the floorboards, every draft in the hall is amplifying the fact that you're not here at all. I am trapped with the echoes in the wood, bouncing off the pine, refracting the memories, blurring the chronological line. I say your name to the rafters, just to hear how it sounds, but the hollow acoustic just throws it aggressively down. It reverberates into my chest, a physical heavy ache, a resonance created by the promises we used to break. The wood remembers everything, it absorbs every tear and sigh. Echoes in the wood, making sure that the past doesn't die. They say nature is healing, but this timber is holding a grudge. It's a courtroom of memories, and the silence is playing the judge. I cannot run the acoustics of the things that we did. I am just a scared little girl who essentially ran and hid, but the forest is listening, the cabin is holding its breath. Just throws it aggressively down, throwing it down. The wood remembers everything, every echo, every sigh. I'm listening. pulled the old hard case out from the back of the closet floor. It's covered in stickers from cities I don't visit anymore. The latches are sticky, they gave a metallic, reluctant sigh as I open the velvet coffin where our old melodies lie. The wood of the body still smells like cedar and cheap cigarette smoke. A time capsule of a basement where we laughed until we choked. But I dragged my thumb across the fretboard and felt a sharp bite. The bronze is oxidized, sitting in the perpetual night. The strings are all dead, they sound like a muffled heavy thud. A tactile reminder of a passion that turned into mud. My fingertips don't have the calluses they used to possess. They are soft and naive, entirely unequipped for this mess. I twist the tuning pegs, trying to force it into key, but the tension is pulling entirely too hard on me. There's rust on the strings, eating away at the core. A chemical decay of a song we don't sing anymore. Every chord that I strike sounds beautifully, tragically sour, like watching a time-lapse of a rapidly dying flower. We used to make music that resonated right through the bone. Now I'm just plucking dead wire in a bedroom entirely alone. Rust on the strings, leaving orange stains on my hand. A physical proof of a love that didn't go as we planned. I remember you sitting cross-legged on the edge of my bed, teaching me a finger-picking pattern that got stuck in my head. Your hands were so patient, guiding my clumsy left wrist. I can still feel the ghost of the places where we last kissed. But guitars need to be played or the neck will start to warp. The action gets high and the harmonies start to go sharp, just like the silence that grew like a fungus between you and me. We stopped paying attention, we stopped tuning to the same frequency. Now I'm looking at a bridge that is slowly pulling apart, a very literal metaphor for the state of my heart. My fingertips don't have the calluses they used to possess. They are soft and naive, entirely unequipped for this mess. I twist the tuning pegs, trying to force it into key, but the tension is pulling entirely too hard on me. There is rust on the strings, eating away at the core. A chemical decay of a song we don't sing anymore. Every chord that I strike sounds beautifully, tragically sour, like watching a time-lapse of a rapidly dying flower. We used to make music that resonated right through the bone. Now I'm just plucking dead wire in a bedroom entirely alone. Rust on the strings, leaving orange stains on my hand. A physical proof of a love that didn't go as we planned. I thought about buying a new pack of strings at the store to polish the frets and make it sing like it did before. But some things are meant to be broken, some things should decay. You can't manufacture the magic once it's faded away. So I let the dissonance ring, I let it be ugly and flawed, a monument to the things that we ultimately outlawed. eating away at the corn, a chemical decay of the song we don't sing anymore. Every chord that I strike sounds beautifully, tragically sour, like watching the time lapse of a rapidly dying flower, leaving orange stains on my hand. Just dead wire. I'll close the case now. Let it rest. Let it rest. There's a moth throwing its body against the yellow glass, a frantic little heartbeat in the dying summer grass. I'm sitting on the front steps, picking at a splinter of pine, watching the headlights sweep past this suburban boundary line. The porch light above me has been flickering since 8:30. A stroboscopic countdown of me staying up much too late. The bulb is dying slowly, burning out its filament thread, much like the quiet hope I've been keeping alive in my head. You said you'd drive through town on your way back from the coast, but the street is completely empty, save for a neighbor's ghost. The concrete driveway is cold beneath my bare tired feet, and a humid breeze is carrying the smell of the humid street. I'm just a statue on the threshold of the inside and out, swallowing down a heavy, uncomfortable lump of doubt. Watch the porch light fading, buzzing like a broken bee, casting a sickly yellow glow on the wilting willow tree. I am keeping a vigil for a car that will never arrive, feeding a dying delusion just to feel halfway alive. Every time it flickers off, my heart skips a tiny beat, thinking you're finally pulling into my quiet street. But the porch is fading, the filament is turning to ash, and I'm just waiting for the inevitable silent crash. I can hear the television murmuring from 2 houses down, the muffled blue glow of the loneliest folks in the town. I wonder if they're waiting for a phantom to walk through the door, if they've accepted that nobody's coming around anymore. I fold my arms across my chest to ward off the midnight chill. The crickets are violently loud, but the universe is so still. I try to imagine your face illuminated by the dashboard dial, but the image is blurry, it hasn't been sharp for a while. I should turn the deadbolt and carry myself up to bed, but I'm glued to the peeling paint of the step where I tread. The concrete driveway is cold beneath my bare tired feet, and a humid breeze is carrying the smell of the humid street. I'm just a statue on the threshold of the inside and out, swallowing down a heavy, uncomfortable lump of doubt. Watch the porch light fading, buzzing like a broken bee, casting a sickly yellow glow on the wilting willow tree. I am keeping a vigil for a car that will never arrive, feeding a dying delusion just to feel halfway alive. Every time it flickers off, my heart skips a tiny beat, thinking you're finally pulling into my quiet street. But the porch light is fading, the filament is turning to ash, and I'm just waiting for the inevitable silent crash. The moth finally gave up, resting its wings on the screen, a tiny tragedy that goes entirely unseen. I guess there is a limit to how hard you can chase the light before you surrender yourself to the overwhelming night. The bulb gives a final, pathetic little pop of bright white, and plunges the front yard into the velvet of midnight. Watch the porch light fading, no, the porch light is dead, casting no shadow at all on the wilting willow's head. I am ending the vigil for a car that will never arrive, letting go of the delusion just to survive. It flickered and died in the darkness is actually sweet. You're not pulling into my street. You're never pulling in. I'm going inside now, turning the lock. Good night. Good night. The afternoon sun is cutting through the living room blinds, drawing parallel lines on the oak that the dust slowly finds. I'm sitting on the rug with my knees pulled up to my chest, watching the light creep eastward as the day goes to rest. There is a specific angle when the clock strikes 4:15, where the shadow of the armchair looks like a movie screen, and the silhouette of the coat rack stretches out so tall. It looks just like a man standing quietly against the wall. I hold my breath and I let my tired eyes unfocus a bit, pretending it's you in the corner just watching me sit. The wood is settling beneath me, giving a tired old groan, a familiar language of a house that is used to being alone. I am tracing the grain of the planks with a bare, hesitant toe, mapping out the distance of a journey I'll never know. Oh, the shadows on the floorboards are playing tricks on my mind, conjuring up the ghost of a life that I left behind. They stretch and they bend as the golden hour starts to wane, a pantomime of memories performing a quiet pain. If I don't turn on the lamp, if I sit perfectly still in the dark, maybe the darkness will hide the shape of this permanent mark. Shadows on the floorboards disappearing into the night, taking away the illusion, turning out the last bit of light. I spilled a glass of red wine right here on this spot last year. You got down on your knees with a towel and called me my dear. You scrubbed at the stain while you laughed at my clumsy mistake. Now I look at that faded purple patch and my bones start to ache. The rug couldn't cover it up, though I shifted it 2 inches right. It's a permanent scar on the room, hidden just out of sight, much like the things that we broke when we finally called it an end. We swept up the glass, but the structure just wouldn't bend. Now I only have the geometry of the evening sun to trace, to fill up the terrible void of this empty, echoing space. The wood is settling beneath me, giving a tired old groan, a familiar language of a house that is used to being alone. I am tracing the grain of the planks with a bare, hesitant toe, mapping out the distance of a journey I'll never know. Oh, the shadows on the floorboards are playing tricks on my mind, conjuring up the ghost of a life that I left behind. They stretch and they bend as the golden hour starts to wane, a pantomime of memories performing a quiet pain. If I don't turn on the lamp, if I sit perfectly still in the dark, maybe the darkness will hide the shape of this permanent mark. Shadows on the floorboards disappearing into the night, taking away the illusion, turning out the last bit of light. When the sun finally dips below the neighbor's roof line, the illusions evaporate, leaving nothing but pine. The room becomes flat, just a box full of motionless air, and I am forced to acknowledge that you're simply not there. I am just a girl in a house with a stain on the wood, holding on to a twilight that I never quite understood. The golden hour starts to wane, just a pantomime of memories. The sun goes down, the shadows fade, and it's just me and the floorboards. The weather forecast on the radio promised a sunny afternoon, but the sky is the color of a bruised, forgotten moon. I've been sitting at the kitchen table since 9:30, watching droplets run a race down the window pane's glass line. There's a mug sitting next to me, it used to be steaming hot. Now it's just a lukewarm puddle of things I haven't got. I poured it with intention, thinking I would write a song, but I've been staring at a blank page for entirely too long. The bitter taste of Arabica settled at the base, much like the lingering sadness that has settled on my face. The clock above the stove is ticking louder than before, counting down the seconds of a life I'm waiting for. I am perfectly suspended in a state of in-between, a solitary extra in a very quiet scene. Cold coffee and soft rain, a symphony of gray, washing all the vibrant colors of the world away. I find a strange comfort in the melancholy chill, in the way the universe is telling me to just hold still. Let the ambition drain away, let the deadlines blur. I don't need to be the person that I thought I were. It's just me and the static of a gloomy Tuesday sky. Cold coffee and soft rain, watching the world pass by. My phone lights up with a message glowing on the wooden chair. Someone asking how I am, someone pretending they care. I watch the screen go dark again, I don't have the will to type. I'm not in the mood to navigate the modern social hype. I prefer the company of the dripping from the eaves, and the way the wind is rustling through the dying autumn leaves. It demands absolutely nothing, it doesn't need a smile, It just lets me sit here in my apathy for a little while. I take a sip of the dark brown liquid. It makes me grimace slightly, but it keeps me grounded in the room, holding on tightly. The clock above the stove is ticking louder than before, counting down the seconds of a life I'm waiting for. I am perfectly suspended in a state of in-between, a solitary extra in a very quiet scene. Cold coffee and soft rain, a symphony of gray, washing all the vibrant colors of the world away. I find a strange comfort in the melancholy chill, in the way the universe is telling me to just hold still. Let the ambition drain away, let the deadlines blur. I don't need to be the person that I thought I were. It's just me and the static of a gloomy Tuesday sky. Cold coffee and soft rain, watching the world pass by. There is poetry in the stagnation if you look close enough, and the texture of the boredom when the going gets too rough. I don't need a revelation, I don't need a saving grace. I just need to occupy this insignificant space. Let the rain keep falling down, let the coffee lose its heat. I am finding victory in this beautiful defeat. Cold coffee and soft rain, a symphony of gray, washing all the vibrant colors of the world away. I find a strange comfort in the melancholy chill, in the way the universe is telling me to just hold still. Just hold still. Watch the rain fall, taste the bitter coffee. Let it go, let it all go. I have this habit of talking to the mirror when I'm drunk, sorting through the attic of my mind, clearing out the junk. I light a cheap candle on the bathroom sink and watch the flame, and I apologize to empty rooms for things I cannot name. I tell the shower curtain that I'm sorry I was mean to a girl back in high school when I was only 17. I confess to the radiator that I stole a silver ring from a thrift store in Portland, though it didn't mean a thing. It's an audience of porcelain, of ceramic and of glass, listening to the history of a deeply flawed past. There's no priest inside the booth, no holy water near, just the buzzing of the fluorescent light for me to hear. I am carrying these tiny sins like pebbles in my shoe, and the biggest one of all is what I didn't say to you. These are my quiet confessions, offered to the dark, shooting blunt arrows at a non-existent mark. I am laying down my armor on a cold linoleum floor, admitting that I don't know who I am anymore. It's a solitary liturgy, a prayer without an amen, stitching up a wound just to rip it open once again. Quiet confessions in the dead of the night, hoping that the morning sun will make it all right. I told the dying houseplant that I sometimes fake a smile when my friends are telling stories, though I'm drifting all the while. I confess to the ceiling fan that I resent my mother's calls, and how I trace the fading pencil marks upon my childhood walls. But the hardest truth to vocalize, the one that makes me choke, is the way I ruined everything the moment that I spoke that night in December when I pushed your love away. Cause I was terrified of what would happen if you stayed. I tell this to the mirror, but the mirror doesn't care. It just reflects a tired woman running fingers through her hair. There's no priest inside the booth, no holy water near, just the buzzing of the fluorescent light for me to hear. I am carrying these tiny sins like pebbles in my shoe, and the biggest one of all is what I didn't say to you. These are my quiet confessions, offered to the dark, shooting blunt arrows at a non-existent mark. I am laying down my armor on a cold linoleum floor, admitting that I don't know who I am anymore. It's a solitary liturgy, a prayer without an amen, stitching up a wound just to rip it open once again. Quiet confessions in the dead of the night, hoping that the morning sun will make it alright. Absolution isn't coming through the window with the breeze. No one is forgiving me for my emotional disease. I am both the sinner and the savior in this play, trapped inside a script where I don't know what to say. So I just keep on talking to the fixtures in the room, narrating my downfall in the comfort and gloom. Admitting that I don't know who I am anymore. Just talking to the mirror, just talking to myself. Forgive me, I'm so sorry. We were sitting on the porch steps when the summer started to die. The air was thick with humidity and a flock of birds in the sky. You leaned in so closely I could feel the heat of your skin, and the world suddenly quieted down, ready for the end to begin. You didn't shout it from the rooftops, you didn't make a scene. You just let the truth slip out somewhere in between a breath and a sigh, a secret you couldn't hold anymore. And just like that you shifted the tectonic plates of the floor. I watched your lips moving, but the sound was out of sync, like a pebble dropping slowly into a pitch black sink. It wasn't a violent storm that tore the house apart. It was a microfracture deep inside the center of the heart. Gravity shifted, the colors drained from the trees, and I was suddenly drowning in a gentle, quiet breeze. Oh, the weight of a whisper, heavy as a stone, sinking down into my marrow, chilling me to the bone. How can something so quiet deafen me completely? How can a voice so soft break a promise so discreetly? It was just a string of syllables, barely making a sound, but it hit me like a meteorite crashing to the ground. The weight of a whisper tipping the delicate scale, leaving me standing stranded in the middle of the gale. I replay that tiny moment on a loop inside my brain, looking for a mistranslation, looking for a drop of rain to wash away the confession that you left upon my ear. But the audio is crystal and the meaning is too clear. You said you didn't love me, not the way you used to do, just a matter-of-fact statement, tragically, undeniably true. Now every loud noise I hear is just a welcome distraction from the devastating physics of that quiet interaction. I've been playing the radio loud, turning up the television screen, trying to drown out the echo of the space where you had been. It wasn't a violent storm that tore the house apart. It was a microfracture deep inside the center of the heart. Gravity shifted, the colors drained from the trees, and I was suddenly drowning in a gentle, quiet breeze. Oh, the weight of a whisper, heavy as a stone, sinking down into my marrow, chilling me to the bone. How can something so quiet deafen me completely? How can a voice so soft break a promise so discreetly? It was just a string of syllables, barely making a sound, but it hit me like a meteorite, crashing to the ground. The weight of a whisper, tipping the delicate scale, leaving me standing stranded in the middle of the gale. If you had yelled it at me in the middle of the pouring rain, maybe I could fight it, maybe I could assign the blame. But you said it so gently, with a sadness in your eye. You made it impossible to hate you, impossible to deny the undeniable mass of a truth spoken so small. It didn't just crack the foundation, it demolished the whole wall. Oh, the weight of a whisper, heavy as a stone, sinking down into my marrow, chilling me to the bone. How can something so quiet deafen me completely? How can a voice so soft break a promise so discreetly? Barely making a sound, but brought me to the ground. The weight of it all, just a whisper, just a whisper. 2 a.m. is glowing on the digital clock by the wall. The ceiling fan is spinning, casting shadows 10 feet tall. There's a crack in the white plaster right above my heavy head. It looks exactly like the interstate that takes you out of town, you said. I've been staring at it now for what feels like 40 days, navigating imaginary highways through an insomniac haze. If I follow that little jagged line all the way to the vent, will I end up in the city where your last 3 years were spent? I've got a suitcase in the closet, gathering a layer of dust, and a jar of loose change that's slowly turning into rust. My mind is a compass with a broken spinning needle, searching for salvation in something else so feeble. The house is settling down, groaning in its wooden bones. I am intimately acquainted with the sound of being alone, tracing maps on the ceiling in the middle of the night, plotting out an escape route by the amber street lamp light. If I take a left at the water stain and a right at the spider web, will I find my way back to the words that you never said? I am a cartographer of a bedroom I can't stand, drawing imaginary borders on an invisible land, tracing maps on the ceiling, trying to find a way to you. But the plaster is just plaster, and the white is turning blue. I remember the road trip we took out to the western state. You were driving barefoot, arguing with the license plate. We got lost somewhere in the desert, no signal on the phone. You pulled over by a cactus and said, we're finally unknown. I try to project the memory onto the blankness above my bed, but the projector is broken and the film is torn to shreds. Instead I see the boundaries of the distance you create, a topography of silence, a geography of fate. I am counting the popcorn bumps on the ceiling, one by one, hoping by the thousandth bump the rising of the sun. My mind is a compass with a broken spinning needle, searching for salvation in something oh so feeble. The house is settling down, groaning in its wooden bones. I am intimately acquainted with the sound of being alone, tracing maps on the ceiling in the middle of the night, plotting out an escape route by the amber street lamplight. If I take a left at the water stain and a right at the spider web, will I find my way back to the words that you never said? I am a cartographer of a bedroom I can't stand, drawing imaginary borders on an invisible land, tracing maps on the ceiling, trying to find a way to you. But the plaster is just plaster, and the white is turning blue. They say the world is shrinking, but my bedroom feels so wide, an ocean of empty mattress stretching out by my side. I could trace a line to Tokyo or a path to the moon, but I can't find a single route to get me out of this room. No, I can't navigate the space between who we used to be and this stranger lying next to a memory. Tracing maps on the ceiling in the middle of the night, plotting out an escape route by the amber street lamplight. If I take a left at the water stain and a right at the spider web, will I find my way back to the words that you never said? I'm drawing borders on an invisible land, tracing maps, just tracing lines. The ceiling is just a ceiling, and I'm not going anywhere tonight. The morning light is crawling across the hardwood floor. It stops right at the threshold of my bedroom door. I haven't moved the curtain since you drove away, just watching dust motes dancing in the sterile gray. There's a coffee cup you left upon the nightstand there, with a tiny ring of brown beneath the ceramic square. I should probably wash it out and start the day anew, but it's the very last thing that was ever touched by you. I trace the rim with my finger, pretending it's your hand, trying to find an anchor in this sinking sand. And the heater hums a steady hollow tune in this overcrowded, empty afternoon. I am trapped inside the amber of a memory, waiting for a ghost to come and rescue me. Oh, these tangled sheets are a map of where we used to be. Cotton valleys, linen mountains, a temporary sea. I sleep on the very against my face. Yeah, the fabric holds the shape of a lover now unseen, trapped between the waking world and a suffocating dream. Tangled sheets, a messy sketch of what we couldn't keep. I am wide awake while the rest of the world is fast asleep. I went to the laundromat on the corner of 4th and Vine, watched the rhythmic tumbling of other people's lives intertwined. But I couldn't bring myself to throw our bedding in the wash, to sanitize the scent of you, to scrub away the loss. So I brought them back in a plastic bag, folded up with care, a museum of a Tuesday night when you were actually there. Your faded vintage t-shirt is hiding at the foot of the bed, a cotton testament to all the stupid things we said. Now the silence in my apartment is as loud as a siren song. Tell me, how can something so short-lived feel so entirely long? And the refrigerator hums its freezing tune underneath the light of a fading afternoon. I am preserving every mistake that we made, in the shadow of a love that's starting to fade. Oh, these tangled sheets are a map of where we used to be. Cotton valleys, linen mountains, a temporary sea. I sleep on the very edge so I don't disturb the space where your heavy breathing used to brush against my face. Yeah, the fabric holds the shape of a lover now unseen, trapped between the waking world and a suffocating dream. Tangled sheets, a messy sketch of what we couldn't keep. I am wide awake while the rest of the world is fast asleep. They say time is a river that washes everything clean, but my river is frozen, stuck inside a broken scene. I tried to make the bed today, to pull the covers tight, but smoothing out the wrinkles felt like giving up the fight. Felt like erasing you completely from the narrative I tell. So I leave the bed unmade, a beautiful lonely hell. Used to brush against my face. Yeah, the fabric holds the shape of a lover now unseen, trapped between the waking world and a suffocating dream. Just a messy sketch of what we could